On a cold January evening in a quiet English town, a 15-year-old girl stepped outside a pizza shop to wait for her friend. She never came back. Less than a minute later, she was stabbed 36 times in a narrow alleyway just a few steps from the street. The boy who killed her was someone she once trusted, someone she had tried to help, her ex-boyfriend. And hours before she died, she had already told a friend he was stalking her. This is the story of Holly Newton and the warning signs that came too late. The town of Hexham in northern England is not the kind of place people expect a murder. It is quiet, historic, a place where families shop together in the town center and teenagers meet friends after school. Violent crime is rare here, which is why what happened on January 27, 2023 shocked the entire community. But to understand how it happened, we have to go back to the beginning. Holly Newton grew up in the small town of Haltwhistle, about 20 miles from Hexham. Friends and family describe her in almost exactly the same way. Kind, funny, and full of life. She loved dancing. She loved animals. And she had a close group of friends who meant everything to her. But Holly also had a habit that would define the tragedy that followed. She always tried to help people, even when they were struggling. When Holly was 13, she joined the Army Cadets. It was there that she met a boy named Logan MacPhail. Logan was quiet and socially awkward. He struggled in school and had learning difficulties. But Holly treated him with kindness. She helped him with reading. She encouraged him. And eventually the two teenagers began dating. At first, it seemed like a normal teenage relationship. But slowly, something darker began to appear. Eventually, Holly had enough. With encouragement from her family, she ended the relationship. But Logan refused to accept the breakup. He continued messaging her friends, trying to arrange meetings, trying to find ways to see her again. And on the morning of January 27th, Holly sent a message to a friend. She said Logan might try to meet her outside school. Later that day, she told someone else something even more chilling. She said he was basically stalking her. What investigators would later discover was even more disturbing, because the murder did not begin that afternoon. It began the night before. Logan traveled more than 40 miles by bus to Holly's hometown. He arrived after dark. Then he sat outside her house, waiting, watching, sending messages to people close to her, trying to find a way inside. Eventually, police were called and took him home. But the danger had not passed. The next day was a Friday. Holly planned to meet friends in Hexham after school. To her, it was just a normal evening. But Logan had already left his own school early. In his backpack was a kitchen knife. He boarded 2 buses and traveled to the town center where Holly and her friends were spending the afternoon. What happened next would later be pieced together using CCTV cameras, and it revealed something deeply disturbing. For nearly an hour, Logan followed Holly through the streets of Hexham, always staying behind her, always out of sight. CCTV cameras captured him hiding behind cars, standing against walls, watching her from a distance. Holly and her friends had no idea, but Logan had already made a decision. At around 5 o'clock that evening, Holly stepped outside a pizza shop on the main street. She was waiting for a friend. Moments later, Logan approached her. They spoke briefly. To anyone watching, it looked like a normal conversation between 2 teenagers. Then Logan gestured toward a nearby alley. Holly hesitated. Then she followed him. Inside the alleyway, Logan pulled a knife from his backpack. The attack was brutal and fast. He stabbed Holly 36 times. The entire attack lasted less than 60 seconds. 5 of the wounds were defensive injuries, meaning Holly tried to fight back, but she was no match for someone armed with a knife. One of Holly's friends heard her scream. He ran into the alley to help her. Logan stabbed him 4 times. The boy survived, but Holly did not. Moments later, Logan walked calmly out of the alley and sat down at a nearby bus shelter, waiting for police. Logan was arrested within minutes. During the trial, he admitted to the killing, but claimed he had brought the knife to harm himself, not Holly. He said he could not remember the attack. After hearing weeks of evidence, the jury rejected his story. In August 2024, Logan MacPhail was found guilty of murder.
The sentence is one of 5 years detention under Section 250 of the Sentencing Act 2020 to run concurrently with your minimum term, so at the same time. I pass no separate penalty for possessing the knife. Logan MacPhail, for the murder of Holly Newton on the 27th of January 2023, The sentence is that you are to be detained at His Majesty's pleasure. That could not be for a period less than 17 years in total.
In November 2024, Logan was sentenced to life in prison. He must serve at least 17 years before he can apply for release. For Holly's family, the verdict brought some sense of justice, but it could never bring their daughter back. After Holly's death, another troubling fact became clear. In England and Wales, coercive control is illegal, but the law only applies to people aged 16 and over. Holly was 15, which meant the abuse she experienced was not legally recognized in the same way. Today, her mother is campaigning to change that law, so that what happened to Holly never happens again. Holly Newton was 15 years old. She had dreams, a family who loved her, and a future that should have been decades long. But one person's obsession took that future away. Now her story is a warning about control, about obsession, and about the signs that should never be ignored.